The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited is for the most part a good fit on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. After a few patches cleared up most of the launch issues, it's an MMORPG that's easy to admire. When we reviewed the original version of The Elder Scrolls Online on PC last year, we gave it a 7.8 and said,
"If you don't enjoy MMORPGs, you probably won't enjoy The Elder Scrolls Online. Its strong character progression and combat systems are closer to the offline Elder Scrolls games than most MMOs, but it's very much a game about adventuring with other players. As a fan of both MMORPGs and the Elder Scrolls series, I found it to be one of the most rewarding games in the genre in years. Even while it's troubled by some extremely annoying bugs, and will probably never look great, I've loved my time questing through Tamriel."
Naturally, since then, many of those bugs have been fixed, and it's dropped its subscription fee in favor of a largely cosmetic item shop, so I'm enjoying it even more. The Elder Scrolls Online for consoles technically doesn't look much different than its PC counterpart, aside from softer textures, but subtle changes allow developer ZeniMax Online to recreate the sensation of playing Skyrim more successfully. There's this closer over-the-shoulder field of view now, for instance. Menus also work well, although ZeniMax Online does make a few questionable decisions by burying the mail option too deeply, and making adding players to groups or guilds a little more complicated than it should be. Even though The Elder Scrolls Online does trap you into a fairly linear zone progression, exploring feels good. These are huge zones, and because we're allowed to steal, pickpocket, and kill non-essential NPCs, it is a lot of fun to interact with the populace. There are some great quest lines out there, but their quality varies widely from one of the three factions to another. The Daggerfall Covenant's quests are predictable and dull, as they're modeled heavily on stereotypical fantasy. The Ebonheart Pact, on the other hand, is full of lightweight puzzles and decent MMO storytelling, and its basis on settings from Skyrim and Morrowind help distinguish it. The Elder Scrolls Online's limit of 5 abilities for each of the 2 swappable weapons works very well. It's satisfying to pour on the pain with action abilities mapped to the gamepad buttons, and using the triggers to block and slash captures some of the feeling of Elder Scrolls combat. You can't remap buttons though, which especially proves annoying in the case of crouching and weapon swapping, which feels like they should be swapped themselves. Combat itself is greatly customizable though. One of the great features is that you can generally play as precisely as you want, limited only by some cool special abilities associated with the 4 classes. Dragonite abilities let you spit fire and fly with dragon wings, and Nightblade abilities let you disappear or call shadowy minions for backup. Otherwise, all gear types and weapons are available for every player. You just have to level each one up. Balance issues used to adversely affect that freedom in the endgame, but a new champion point system allows you to put points where they're needed most, ensuring that, say, magical builds don't have a huge advantage over stamina builds. The biggest problem that we have is with the communication. Almost all player interaction takes place via group or area voice chat, so you most only talk to people in your immediate vicinity. It's fine for day-to-day adventuring and works well in dungeons where you need to bark out instructions on the fly. The problem is that there's no option to enter information by text, which makes communicating to the zone that you're looking for a dungeon group or announcing where the action is in a PvP almost impossible. From a roleplay perspective, it's sad to see gamer tags above characters' heads instead of character names. It does help you keep track of who your friends are, but it's weird to see inappropriate names in a fantasy world. There's tons of great content in the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited, waiting for solo and group-focused players alike, including crafting, PvP, 4-man dungeons, or raid-like trials at the endgame. The controls are pretty good, which makes the action-heavy combat work well, and except for some limitations from the voice-only communication system, it nails most of what I love about PC MMORPGs. For more on the Elder Scrolls series, stick with IGN.